Hey, good morning everybody. John Bergsman here from Fisherman's Digest, back from a little vacation. Thanks to all of my guys, Lee Gould and Captain Alex Bialik, for subbing in for me. We're here today at Captain Chuck's 2 up in Ludington. We're going to have a great Ludington report a little bit later this week, but today we got 2 great reports. We're going to start off with Saginaw Bay. I know it's the one everybody wants to hear. And then we're going to move over to the Traverse City region and talk about something unusual, smelt fishing. Got a really good report for smelt fishing. Stay tuned for 2 great reports here on Tuesday morning at the Fisherman's Digest. So hey guys, first report of the day, it's the big one. It's the Saginaw Bay report. We have resisted reporting on Saginaw Bay because of course the minute we start saying there's safe ice, then something happens. But right now we got some pretty good solid ice out there in Saginaw Bay. Hey, Brandon Cordles from T&K Recovery, he's the guy who goes out and gets your RV when you go on ice that's way too thin. He's given us a great report. He'll be out guiding this week, and Brandon tells us that the walleye bite is insane. It's really good right now. A lot of fish, a lot of limits coming through the ice. So a couple of areas to concentrate if you're coming in from out of area where they've been doing really well. And that's going to be the 20 to 25 foot area east of the plug, and also in front of Linwood, which is a great access point, in front of Linwood Beach Marina, out in 18 to 22 feet. And then you can spread out to the north and the south from there. It seems like that whole shoreline is holding a decent number of migrating fish as long as you're fishing in that 18 to 22 foot area. At least that's what the bite was a couple days ago this weekend. So it's Monday morning right now, so this information isn't very old. The tactics have been really super simple, normal Saginaw Bay tactics, and that's going to be a combination of your favorite jigging spoon tipped with a minnow head, or a Russian spoon tipped with a minnow head. And I'm going to explain this action for guys who are coming from out of area who may have never fished Saginaw Bay before. Saginaw Bay, when you're fishing out there, you're going to want to really vary your motion. In other words, you're going to want to call fish in with long swooping jigs and hold it still, drop it to the bottom, pound it into the bottom, you know, poof the bottom up a little bit with your jigging spoon, lift it up, hold it, do some slow up and down jigs. You know, you're really moving that bait around to call fish in. A lot of guys will fish with a dead stick right next to them. With a live hooked minnow, maybe a Russian spoon with a minnow hooked behind the upper dorsal so that the minnow swims a little bit and struggles and it stays alive. What happens is you call these fish in, many times they will hit a jigged rod in your hand for sure if you slow it down and hold it, which is part of the presentation. Don't just sit and jig it all the time. You want to pause it, stop it, hold it, jiggle it, drop it to the bottom. You get what I'm saying. They'll come and slam that, but a lot of times you'll draw them in and then they'll go ahead and hit that dead stick laying right next to you. So, you know, have half of one eye peeled on that dead stick all the time. But right now, Saginaw Bay appears to have some really solid ice. Of course, we're going to have a little bit of warm temperatures on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's not a big deal. The only thing that's going to cause is maybe wherever there's the presence of a crack, that crack might open up a little bit more. So you are going to have to be aware when you're out there on your snowmobiles and your four-wheelers that you can't just bomb around aimlessly everywhere. You got to be aware of your circumstance. But in general, all the way around the shoreline of Greater Saginaw Bay, you've got good, safe ice.
Anglerquest Pontoons, family owned and operated, built by fishermen for fishermen, with all of the fishing features you need and models designed for specific species. With plenty of room and a center console, Anglerquest Pontoons are the ideal boat for the fisherman and the family man. For more information, check us out at www.anglerquestpontoons.com or on Facebook and Instagram at Anglerquest Pontoons.
Hey guys, next report is from the Traverse City or, you know, the Houghton Lake area. We've got 2 lakes that we're spotlighting for smelt fishing. Now guys, Mike Radcliffe from the Northwest Michigan Fishing Club, that's a Facebook group. Go ahead and pull it up and like that if you're interested in smelt fishing or just generally fishing that northwest area of Michigan. Mike sent us a great informative report on guys who want to get into smelt fishing. Now listen, and there's also going to be a picture in this report of the finished product, deep fried and on a plate, and man does it look good. And there is nothing better than super fresh smelt that you catch, clean, and cook all within a day or two of catching it. It's really good stuff. So Mike, thanks for the report. So here's how to get into smelt fishing. You're going to need electronics. That's the first thing, because you're going to fish in areas where you've got lots of school activity moving through. Mike tells me that if you don't have a school of fish moving through pretty much every 10 minutes in an area, then you're going to want to either deepen up or shallow up. Now, this past weekend, the bite was happening on Green Lake in Traverse City, and the next day they fished Higgins Lake. So those are two premier areas where you can get smelt with rod in hand. Green Lake in the Traverse City area and Higgins Lake. And Mike said the fish seemed to be moving the best between 30 and 45 feet of overall depth. So they started in 35, moved to 37, move out to 40. That 40-foot depth seemed to be where he saw the most groups of fish moving through the fastest. That's what you want when you're smelt fishing. Now you're going to need a really soft rod and really light line. That's one of the keys to the presentation. Mike's group was using Haley jigs, H-A-L-I or Halley, depends on how you pronounce it. Halley jigs tipped with red spikes. One of the guys in the group also was putting up above the Halley jig, about 18 inches above and another foot above that, a snelled number 10 hook with a gold number 10 hook on a snell, probably using a bear paw connector or some type of a connector to get it on your line. You can also hand tie it on your line, but tipping that with red spikes as well. His production was way better than the rest of the guys, so the increased number of baits in the water was really helping. So Haley jigs and red spikes, fishing them and let your electronics talk to you. That's kind of the deal with smelt fishing, is though they can be tight in the bottom 1/3 of the bottom. They can also be suspended. It just depends. And that's where you really need some electronics to know what depth range to go ahead and set your jig rods. Little tip also, so soft rod, light line, Halley jigs also have the ability to add some snelled hooks to them, small number 10 hooks. The other thing to pay attention to is how far down. It's a lot of guys say to me, John, how do you know how far down you are when you are letting your line out on like a regular basic retrieve reel? This is a tip that I use all the time when I'm ice fishing. So I always use really light fluorocarbon line, like 2-pound test or something like that. And I will take a magic marker, a black magic marker, and I will mark every 3 feet of line with a little, I'll just rub the black magic marker on my line. Then I go 3 more feet, rub the black magic marker on my line. That way you can know how many 3-foot segments. So if you want to go out 18 feet, you simply, down 18 feet, you simply put the 6th little mark at your rod tip or at the water line, and you'll know your bait is down 18 feet. It's kind of a primitive way to do it, but to be honest, it's worked well for me for years. This is a great way to just hand mark your line. You can also do it with yellow, whatever, if you feel like black scares them. I don't think it does. Anything more than 3 feet away, they don't pay attention to it anyway, not in low light conditions of ice fishing. So again, Green Lake in the Traverse City region. Higgins Lake has always been known for smelt fishing. If you want to do something fun, soft rods, Halley jigs, red spikes, a good piece of electronics, and just be willing to move around. Thanks a lot, Mike, for a great report.
Damka Outdoors in Monroe is Southeast Michigan's one-stop sporting goods destination, featuring all your fishing needs, including live bait and the area's largest selection of custom-painted banded crankbaits. Damka Outdoors has a large selection of guns and ammunition, archery equipment, and supplies, as well as an archery service department and indoor archery range. Stop by today or shop our online store.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, we're here at Captain Chuck's, and a couple quick things to know. Captain Chuck's right here on the main drag in Ludington has got great bait. They're open 7 days a week, and right now, to celebrate, kind of getting halfway through towards the end of ice fishing and looking forward to open water fishing, Scott and the boys and Randy have put all of their Striker cold weather gear on sale 30% off. Listen, if you're in the market for some great cold weather gear, you want to save some money, Captain Chuck's in Main Street in Ludington has got a good selection of Striker gear marked down, and you don't see Striker gear marked down very often. So get on in here, buy them out, clear up some rack space so they can put more open water stuff on the shelves. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching today's Tuesday report of the Hot Bites Fishing Report.